Hey folks, this is Kenneth Price, and where are we at? We're at Wednesday, November 9th. This is Wednesday. This is our 34th midweek Zoom call for the ministry I'm hosting, psychiatricsobriety.com. I'm extremely tired tonight. So this call is going to be run by the two participants so far. It's going to be run by Chris, and it's going to be run by Greg. I'm just going to sit back and host it and make sure the recording goes as fine. But I'll do my best I can to give my 5-minute introduction. All right, so I started this ministry over a year ago. I came off psych meds and I came off benzodiazepines. I do this. This is like my 80th Zoom call recording. I've spent 25 years of my life just completely, lost in the mental health system. But so many other people have been lost in the mental health system. And in the mental health system, doctors prescribe pills, and then they prescribe more pills and more pills and more pills. And by the time you find this ministry, you realize that those pills have made us sicker than the problem that never existed in the first place. But we don't go into the problem here, we go into the solution. I completely emerge from all that. And I completely emerge from that every single day. It takes work, it takes discipline, it takes faith. So this Zoom call is based on work, discipline, and faith. Got another Zoom call. It's at 9 a.m. on Sunday morning Pacific time. It's a new idea because this is a ministry. It's about reconnection. Oh God, how do you cram, reconnection into a 5-minute introduction? Well, you don't. You do the best you can. I've been doing the best I can for over a year. So it's not a religious ministry. Religion's, I don't want to, again, mental illness is looking for the differences instead of the similarities. Mental illness is criticism. Mental illness is fear. So if there's any criticism and any fear, then we're back on our mental illness, and we're not going to get any better. We got 4 participants. Let me get the gallery view going. My favorite, oh, thank goodness Beloved's here because she's going to pick up the slack. I'm so tired. So anyway, basically, we're not here to act as doctors. We're not here to act as therapists. I'm not even a credentialed minister. I'm a miracle. You want a miracle? Don't just bypass all the cycles. No, I'm not. I got to be so careful with my words. You want a miracle. Miracles don't just walk outside and a lightning ball hits you and I'm all better. You work your ass off, you pray your ass off, and you procure your own miracle. Everyone wants healing. We all want healing. Well, no, you don't. You want a miracle. Sorry. A Course in Miracles student. Thank goodness Beloved's on board. She's a Course in Miracles student. Did I ever heal from all my problems? Everybody think, when did you heal? When did you heal? When I shifted my perception. That's why I'm a Course in Miracles student. Maybe I still have all my problems. I don't know. Maybe I'm still mentally ill. I'm happy. My heart is opening up and my life is full of abundance. I don't know. Maybe I'm still mentally ill. I don't know. You be the judge. That's why my website, has the quote by Krishnamurti. To be well adjusted to an insane society is not a sign of mental health. So there, put that in your pipe and smoke it. All right, so here we go. We start up every Zoom call with the healer's prayer. Anyway, a little bit back to my disclaimers. Okay, so since we're not doctors, since we're not therapists, we're not telling anybody to get off their psych meds. We're not telling anybody to exit psychiatry. We got off our psych meds, we exited psychiatry, and so this is what we're extending and offering. All right, a healer's prayer. We are here only to be truly helpful, and we are here to represent him or her who sent us. We do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because he or she who sent us will direct us. We are content to be wherever he or she wishes, knowing that he or she goes there with us. And drum roll, please, the last sentence. We will be healed as we let him or her teach us how to heal. Okay, folks, I'm totally exhausted. The Zoom call is yours. Where do you want to go with it? So good to see you again, Chris. Hi, Beloved. Hi, Greg. Someone's got on. I know as soon as Beloved unmutes yourself, then she's gonna just go on your mark and say go.
It's nice to see you. Uh, Nice to see you, Greg. Uh, Also, and Chris, nice to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, Raina. Good to
Yeah,
see you.
yeah. It is a miracle. I think I'm a miracle. Like Kenneth, I think we're all miracles here.
Oh, can I interject one thing? I got to bring this up. Tina passed away this morning.
Oh no. Really?
God.
And let me actually let me bring this up. See if I can bring it up without getting a tear. Tina's the reason for this ministry. Tina kept me afloat when I felt discouraged, and because I felt very discouraged. What am I doing? Who am I to start a ministry? Tina showed up every single week. I'm maybe I know I've got to start this call off. I'm not really good with spiritual language, so let's just cut to the chase. That woman was badass. Everyone knows her. What we did, she never let me document her testimony, but that woman pulled herself out of a very deep hole, and she was a testament to faith. She was a testament to courage. She was a testament to service. She gave and she extended, and that's how she pulled herself up. Tina and I are the ones who started this ministry together, basically. Okay. It's really not quantity, but it's quality. She was about my same age, 55 years old. And we never got to know each other personally because we were too busy doing the hard work together. Okay. 55 years old, she may have crammed more service into 55 years than most people can cram into several lifetimes. And that's the whole point of this ministry. Is something going wrong? No, she because of her transformation. I just looked at the Facebook page, and she probably had at least 110 condolence comments. Probably not in spite of her parable, but because of it. The amount of courage that it takes to turn the tides when we've descended into, and I don't like the word descend. I'm a real stickler with language, but when we've gone so far down one road and we have to turn around. But again, I want this documented for YouTube, because she went so far in one direction, she went equally far in the other. I'm just going to come out and say, and I've got to sit down and I've got to write her a eulogy that she deserves, and a eulogy that would be appropriate and fitting. But I've got to put my mind to it, because more than anything else, I want to respect, complete respect. One of my teachers, probably, my first and foremost teacher these days, is Jesus. And it's no accident he liked to hang out with the tax collectors and the prostitutes. Look at me. I've never collected taxes, but I'm certainly eligible for prostitutes for my story. Beloved's laughing. But that's where do you know why he hung up? Not because he was a good and virtuous person. He knew they were ripe to surrender it all and follow something that you can't see, hear, taste, touch, or hear, or in another spice sentence. He knew that those people, who had really been, by the world standards, completely, obliterated caterpillars. Obliterated caterpillars. Follow my logic. People whose caterpillars were completely obliterated, because Jesus knew the secret. He knew the formula. He knew what comes after caterpillar if we keep going, if we stick it out. Tina was one of those who stuck it out. She was caterpillar mush. She went through her cocoon, and this ministry has documented, I don't know how many. Maybe I got 80 of these Zoom calls, and I know she's on over half of them. So that's her legacy, basically, in a nutshell. Mm-hmm. Not even through her words, what she did to herself, what courage. That's why I keep using that word over and over and over. How about that, folks? Let's talk about Tina.
Yeah. Can we have I don't know. Well, I'll let it go. Maybe a moment of silence after we talk too.
Yeah.
couple of minutes. Well, I don't know. She was definitely getting visions. I was wondering if that had anything to do with the fact that she was going to pass. And
You know, I'm glad you brought that up, Greg.
Mhm.
Because when we're all this whole life we're living is all pre-scripted.
Yeah.
Said that many times over.
Mhm.
You know, when we start to run to the end of our listen, a butterfly just needs to fly once.
Mhm.
Once. Make it out of the cocoon, you know, fly for 2 hours. That's all you need.
Mhm.
Whether you fly for 2 hours or 40 years, there's no difference. Okay. I mean, I'm trying to unwind this belief in time that we have been so indoctrinated to think is the truth when it certainly isn't. Yeah, she had powerful gifts, and to think anything went wrong, I'm not buying that either. I'm saying she will, and to think maybe she could be gone, I'm not buying that one either. Once you become a butterfly, you go supernova in the energy, you know. I mean, that's going off the Course in Miracles, but it's just coming out of me, you know. It's the way I'm seeing things. So yeah, Greg, you know, when the script is coming, when the play's coming to an end, yeah, there's a thin membrane between the two worlds. Okay. And that membrane becomes very, very thin, you know, as we reach the end of our own play. And I truly believe her membrane was very thin. You know, she knew she you know, at a subconscious level, you know, knew that she was going to make it only to 55 years. And she said, okay, what am I going to do with the last couple of years of my life? I'm going to go for the gold. And that woman did go for the gold. 5 stars, you know. So when you want to ask my opinion, I say 6. I give her an Academy Award. Period. I mean, you know, I don't compliment people. I'm just speaking it like it was, because she didn't have time for small talk. Her and I did not have time for any chit chat. Every time she came on this call, it was let's get down to business. I mean, once you've had, you know, once you've been on psych meds and benzodiazepines, there's no more, and you know my story, addictions. There's no more room for small talk anymore. We've got to put our whole selves in. Remember when you do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around, you know, put your whole self in, but don't take your whole self out. Put your whole self in. That woman put her whole self in. No other way. That's why I'm not real terribly popular. I'm not helping people to go. I have no time or place to try and help people heal their bodies. I'm just came out and said it. We're here to heal this, which is, by the way, the only thing that's connected to this. Heal this, and shift the perception and become badass warriors. Who cares if our bodies are falling apart at this point in time? This is all we are anyway. Okay. And by the way, the body's usually, I don't know, my body recalibrated itself. I can only speak for myself. Probably think I'm nuts. Yeah, so I bet if Jesus was still alive, they'd say that guy's nuts. So put him on Prozac. Well, that's it. All right, beloved, I cut you off. Now I've gone on for 13 minutes. Your turn. Go.
I thought that when I saw the message, and it's amazing because I heard a channeling about death and how happy that person is. You know, I just think Tina's like, whoa, shit, yeah. You know, I'm still here, guys, but damn, this is, you know what I'm saying? I mean, because that's the greatest illusion left. That's what took us crazy. Everybody's crazy because everybody fears death. And when you don't fear death, that means you're sane, right? That thing is the hate of God and the death thing is two big things. That's like those hurdles to overcome. And I mean, Tina, I love her. I feel so much love. I feel her. I mean, she was so, like you said, bam, she was on it. She could cut through all the, you know, the baloney and just bam in so nicely. really, I just can't wait. Thank you, Kenneth. Wow, who knew you would be blessed to archive this beautiful, wonderful woman and her service, her great service that will keep continuing even though she's changing cars.
Changing cars. Remember what she said to me? Oh, I said it. I said,
I know, I love that. That is like classic. That's just so hilarious.
I say for the YouTube archive, I say get in the driver's seat. You know, Jody says, I say get in the passenger seat. Jody says get in the driver's seat. Tina comes up and says, just get in the fucking car.
I mean, come on, look at that. That is just like badass, right? Yeah. Death is for the living. I always say, we're the ones that making up all kinds of things. Sure, you feel, what did we feel? We're feeling love. That's all. What could we feel but love here? For someone you have never physically met, you know? Right? But to have the power of just this energy and the spirit that comes from the fire we've all been through, you know?
Yeah, let's talk about that. Where do you think that? Here's a question: where did her energy come from? Where you know, where is it coming from? Is this? Could it be like free energy? Is there a free energy? Or are we tapping into the free energy source here? And we're going from fossil fuels to free energy. Let's go green here.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing you were saying, beloved, is like, wow, you know, it feels almost strange to miss someone and love someone that you've never met, you know, but yeah, wow, I'm just kind of processing it because Tina was just wonderful. She just had such a wonderful spirit to her, and such a great energy. Speaking of energy, Kenneth, she had such a great source of energy, and it was also so practical. You know, talking about, you know, just coming off of psych drugs, and she would always kind of jump in with just some very practical advice. Here's what your body's going through. Here's what your central nervous system's going through. She kind of always had a way to kind of ground things. And, you know, I don't really know her story. I don't know her. I wish she did record a testimonial, but she, I did get such a sense of her strength. And one of the things I love about this group is how much we talk about, you know, that strength comes from the trials and tribulations we go through. So I can only imagine what she has gone through, or what she did go through in order to cultivate that strength. And golly, it's just, you know, I'm going to miss her from these groups because she really just brought such a great perspective, and really was like a pillar of this group. Like you said, Kenneth, I didn't realize that the two of you really started it together, but that makes sense. I mean, she's been here since the beginning and was in almost every Zoom meeting, it seemed. So what
and
what
you
a
too,
loss.
Chris, and you too, Greg. This is I keep saying it's our ministry. You all three of you, and you two, beloved, have kept me afloat, kept us afloat. There's no me here. I just pay $15 a month and press the record button. That's all I do.
One thing I noticed about her, she was an observer. She listened too. Yeah.
Let me put this down for the archives. What I just stated about Tina, what came through me, would not have been possible while I was still medicated. When I was still medicated, it was just a bunch of, you know, people said, you know, Kenneth, you're full of spiritual, you know, you say in AA, they say you got a head, how does it say, you got a head full of AA and a belly full of booze or something. Basically, in a nutshell, I had to get off the psych meds to go through all that stuff in my energy field to get to the other side, to start to flow once again from this place and not up here, thinking. That's just an ego hamster wheel. We got to reconnection. What is it? So simple. Just to connect to your, and that's what Tina used the word intuition over and over and over. So she was connected to fill in the blank. She was reconnected. I don't know. You're right, beloved. She's probably floating out there saying, "This is great. I ain't coming back." Sean Nelson texted me, "Is Tina gone?" And I said, "Yeah, I heard from her." And he goes, "What did she say?" And I said, "So long, and thanks for all the fish." It's like this guide to the galaxy. But I'm not saying that flippantly. I truly got the vision that Tina said, just like beloved. She said, "I'm free. I'm free."
She was
We're all
asking
free,
me
but
about
we're
she was asking me, and I had sent her some information about the non-physical, if you will. Because she, from what I intimated, was never mentally ill. It's just that she saw what others didn't.
Right. Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
That's easy, unless you're who's that math guy, The Brilliant Mind, or that movie, The Beautiful Mind. Unless you're that, you got a whole community to support your little specialist. You doubt yourself. You get diagnosed. You suppress. You push your gift. You bury it. And I had sent her some information on that very thing that she was now opening to discovery. It was coming out, you see, right? Because with all the barriers, the connection's gonna come through. So that's why I'm like, I'm really happy for her. I mean, we have to be happy. We're not here to save a body. We're not here to save a body. Thank you, Kenneth, for pointing that out. We're not here to save a body. We're here to offer light and a guiding light and just the frequency to uplift. And Tina did that. I mean, she was so powerful. She was so steady. And the connections we had, I didn't know she knew her. And she knew, she knew Calico, right, Kenneth?
Yeah. Did she connect with Calico? I sure hope
she was connected.
She did connect with Calico.
I'm just saying she was connected with Calico. That's what I'm saying. I found out she had all these connections once I started talking to Tina. I said, she said she knows she wasn't. No, I saw Calico's stream and Tina was on it.
All right. Well, I know she connected with Laverne. She's fine.
Who is Calico? Who is that?
Calico is one of my spiritual teachers in
okay,
Mexico.
Somebody I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's in Namaste Village, and I think she has a broadcast as well. And so we're so who knew the connection was like that? And
did I connect her to?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Calico. I don't know how close they were.
I don't know.
So,
let me tell Greg. Calico is a woman who came into the Living Miracles ministry even before I did, with cancer. Yeah, cancer. And the Living Miracles, she went full in. Put your whole self in. Don't take your whole self out. Leave your whole self in. She went in full. She walked out of hospice, and she's been a spiritual teacher ever since.
Yeah.
Listen, listen. If someone can take cancer and turn it into a testimony, then why can't we take psych meds and benzodiazepines and turn them into a testimony? If she can walk an unbelieving cancer, what are we capable of when it comes to psych meds and benzodiazepines? These are templates. These are testimonies.
She overcame cancer?
She unbelieved it.
Okay.
She said she didn't want it anymore.
Yeah.
No.
It's very powerful. She
stopped trying to heal her body, and she was healing this with the Course in Miracles, mind training. And by the way, once you get to here, this just opens up by default.
Mhm.
And this is, this is going deep, but beloved's going to be with me. I have to stick with the mind training every day, because you know what illness is? Illness is in the mind.
Mhm.
I know that's a deep teaching, and that's why I kept telling. If you want more information, go to David Hoffmeister. He'll explain it.
Okay.
But ultimately, that's what Jesus tried to teach 2,000 years ago. People, they thought he was mentally ill. Well, as soon as, and you're right, beloved. Tina was tapping into a powerful force. I mean, I don't know who was it that said, "To be great is to be misunderstood." We're locking. It's like that essay that I've got on my website. What does a shaman see in a mental hospital? He sees future shamans trying to wake up. So, but again, we're not here to focus on the problem, so I'll go back to the solution, which in my Course in Miracles, it's yours too. There's many paths. Jody's always pointing out to me. Jody, actually, I like when Jody comes on. She's very pragmatic. She points out all the time, many paths, many paths. I know. That's mine.
And it's kind of cool not to have a story to connect. And I don't even know everybody's story here, because I'd have to go back through the arc, and I just kind of pick and choose. I don't know. And I want to, but it's just kind of the stories really aren't, they're great, but they're not really the point.
We all do
The
them.
point is, we're not that. I mean, the whole point of this Reina Caceres is I wasn't, but I thought I was, but I was, and I made that into this character, avatar or whatever. So
I don't remember. It was one of the reasons Zoom calls when I'm working on this every day, folks. This is part of the reason I started this ministry. I got to teach what I need to learn. I got to teach what I need to learn. I got to teach what I need to learn. If someone's going to tell me their story, you know what I need to do? I need to sit down, shut up, not believe a word they're saying, and see them, who they are. The only way I can know who you are is if I know who I am. Because they temporarily can't see it. A miracle worker miracle worker's not, waving a magic wand. He simply holds the space and knows who you are. I wish Dale were here with his catalog of quotes. Who was it? Who you are thunders so loudly that I cannot hear a word that you say to the contrary. I don't know. It's one of the famous quotes. That's what we're here to do. We're here to hold the space for others. And in that's the last line of the healer's prayer. I will be healed as I let him or her show me how to heal. No more. That was the end of Calico's, cancer story. That was the end of my benzodiazepine, psych med story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not reinventing the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
It's an ancient mystery. I mean, God, Jesus said it 2,000 years ago. It just took me, I had to get, I had to throw myself under the bus 100 times.
as did we all. I mean, no one has it's like, if we try to compare our stories, who has the worst? I mean, how fun for the ego, but fruitless for those who. Greg said something so wonderful. One of the last ones, like, I don't even want to tell it no more. It's like, I'm tired. I got like that. I was so tired of telling my poor me story. It was just tiring. and then I started listening. I'm like, oh my God, it's boring too. And then as I raised in frequency, it changed perception. I didn't have that language, but I was amazed at how I didn't see my life like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't tell that story because it was not really true.
Mm-hmm.
As I really, And it was amazing because I had told it just by rote, just like automatic, so long, I didn't question it. I didn't question that it wasn't true. It was like, that's me.
Mhm.
So I love, so that I didn't know Tina's story, but I had listened, I love listening, and you can go back and get glimpses and tidbits, but still the wisdom comes through. But that's what we're here. We have this mind joined wisdom. And we may not even know we have this wisdom until I come here, right? I don't even know until I come here and we mix this lovely energy together. And
I didn't know I had wisdom until people started coming to me in spirit. All of a sudden was sort of like,
It'll be
I got
time for
plugged
bed in
into
30 minutes.
Alexa, stop.
I got plugged into the good board. I don't know, that's a horrible analogy. I don't know. It was just once upon a time, someone came to me. I was out of my ego long enough, and words started coming through me, and I said, "Where did that come from?" Because, where did that come from? Service. Service is one word. Course in Miracles calls it extension.
I caught myself today and I said, is this my higher self talking to me? Because that didn't come from me. I just thought that today. I'm like, oh,
No.
that didn't come from me. But it was so encouraging and uplifting. You know what I'm saying? It's great.
Yeah, and my question is, how did that make you feel?
Yeah.
Look at the smile. The smile says it all. You don't have to answer the question. Just keep smiling. This is where I'm at. I'm here in Cincinnati. I'm at the Peace House. I'm remodeling David Hoffmeister's bathroom upstairs. And so I'm here. That's why you see a different, I don't have that ugly beige curtain. I got these beautiful faux walls behind me. But anyway, this house used to be lived in by Richard Rohr, famous man now. He's older, but he's written countless books. He was a priest. He still is a priest, but he went against he didn't go against the Catholic doctrine. He went deep into the mysticism, and actually stayed in the Catholic Church. And it says it was marvelous, man, excellent bridge but what he describes he calls what you just described, beloved. He calls it. I see, I've got a book here, Richard Rohr.
Oh,
He calls this the second half of life.
yeah.
He framed it. I could hear it. So the first half of life, you have to have a spiritual ego. You have to have an ego, period. And Richard Rohr is not reinventing the wheel. Like I said at every single Zoom call, the prodigal son, or I call it, caterpillar, cocoon, butterfly. But we have to experience, and ancient wisdom teachings call it neti neti. We have to try it on our own. We have to. And it generally takes us into psych meds and benzodiazepines, or some people heroin, meth, sex addiction, divorces, bankruptcies, until you realize, uncle, I cried, uncle. And then like what Helen Schuckman and Bill Thetford said in the 1960s, there's got to be a better way.
Yeah.
Again, nothing's going wrong.
Yeah.
Something's going right.
Yeah.
And what you're talking about, this is why I'm not interested in specifics. I'm not interested in symptom. Let's go all the way down to the root, pull up, what's driving this shit. So again, I'm not a spiritual teacher. So I don't know, beloved's going to jump on me for that, but go, if you don't get it from David Hoffmeister, go to Calico Hickey. They both have, David's got, tens of thousands of videos. Calico's got hundreds and hundreds. Yeah. These are the way showers of the 21st century.
We all are,
Yeah.
I think you are, Kenneth. I haven't had a chance to join your 12 steps in A Course in Miracles, but what a powerful combination that must be.
Yeah.
I'm not that familiar. I'm learning a lot about the 12 steps through Sir Dr. David R. Hawkins. He said it calibrate so high, and which means it's if you don't know about his work, he's a scientist that if you need proof on the caterpillar on this level, the third dimension, he provides it. It's called based on behavior kinesiology. Anyways.
No.
So anyway, I love that you have taken these two modalities of 12 steps in A Course in Miracles and combined them. And that's a bridge. That's power and power. And that's what anything that truth, coming to truth, just magnifying truth, helps us all become enlightened and tune into those higher frequencies where all the other things fall away. You see, that's how we tell. We don't have to resist. That's the ego making a whole big thing out of it and keep you to your story and suffering and all that stuff. That's not what we're saying. And Tina was always just so pleasant. She was always so cool, right?
Yeah.
I don't know that I saw her having a bad time at the meeting. She was just always so cool. And
let's talk about that real briefly. She hasn't been on a Zoom call for several weeks. She was getting sick. Now let's talk about courage. Did she ever once complain?
Yeah.
She was intuitive. She may have known her time was. Did she once complain? No. She simply came on and she said, "I just want to listen."
Yeah.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
That's
she
beauty.
even came and left us a last message from her. I just thought that was so precious because that was the last time, right? We didn't see her, but she joined just verbally. And I think she said some encouraging things to you, Chris, or Chris said some beautiful, encouraging things to her.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I remember that meeting when she wasn't, I think she mentioned she wasn't feeling well, but you're right, not a complaint in sight by any means. And she just wanted to listen. And wow. Yeah. Talk about courage.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
People who are quiet usually, I don't know how to say it. Taoism talks a little bit about it, but there's something about being quiet and being still and not needing to say anything. I don't want to say have it all together, but you have some kind of wisdom, I believe, when you don't have to say anything anymore. I don't think you kind of realize there's nothing to be said. And I think she knew that, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my spiritual teachers has retreats based on silence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hate her retreats because it's just, every time I get silent, the noise gets louder up here.
Tina was very loving. I will say that.
Yeah.
She was very loving. And she reminded us about the loving, the love. That was really, I loved how she just kept it in that. And very kind and firm. Still, you have to know the truth, but how kind, gracefully she could tell you the hard truth. You know what I'm saying? Tenderly and lovingly. So I really appreciate her for that. It was never condescending or like I've made it, or it was so compassionate and joining every time she spoke.
Yeah, very patient too. You're right.
Patient, yes.
He was waiting for folks to kind of get through whatever they're getting through, and she'd be kind of there waiting and throwing out some life preservers of some advice, but without getting wrapped up in the whatever the person was feeling. I remember there was a meeting I joined that I was really struggling and I was crying on the call and not really sure what was going on. And I remember Tina was just like kind of listened and then was like, yeah, you're in the rock tumbler right now. And, you put a rock in and it tumbles and eventually comes out all nice and shiny and polished. So just keep that in mind. You'll come out shiny and polished at some point, but right now you're tumbling around. And it was just like so practical and so simple.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she wasn't really emotional about it in the best of ways. It was just like,
yes.
Yeah.
and I'll see you when you get on the other side kind of thing. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Perfect analogy.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And once you're in a rock tumbler, who wouldn't want to go on psych meds and benzodiazepines? Who wouldn't want to do alcohol and drugs? Who wouldn't want to go out and sex?
Yeah.
Sometimes people even take themselves out of the game with suicide. Again, I'm not afraid to talk about it. No, courageous warriors keep going.
Yeah.
What I could, it's courage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's where the help comes from. When we say yes to life, life's going to deliver us. I said it in every single Zoom call. We say yes. I'm willing to stick this out to ride this just for today. It's all we have to do. It's all we have is just for today.
Mm-hmm.
And we begin to notice that we are being carried. That's why the front page of my psychiatric sobriety and the peer support is footprints in the sand. That was my story.
Mm-hmm.
All of our stories.
Yeah.
We got to show, but like I'm glad. Thank you for the kudos on the 12 steps of the Course in Miracles, beloved. Because Dale Blackford said to me, 13 years ago, all you got to do in life is show up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how did you and Tina meet, Ken?
It was this Zoom call.
Was it? But how did you? I guess you just looked on Facebook and saw it or something. And
it was. I have no idea.
Okay,
I have no
so
idea how this ministry even got started.
Okay.
I just know that we were all of us were, and I got about 10. We got about 10 members on this, this ministry. All 10 of us were supposed to assemble. So far for it's November, so it's been over a year for a very sacred assignment. It's not ours to know what the purpose of this. We can try and figure out why we're here, but generally we have no idea other than we're supposed to be here, and there's a higher purpose, and it is unveiling itself. It's like one of the Course in Miracles says, one of the lessons. I have no idea what anything means. I got reminded. I'm here at the Peace House with Svava, David's wife, and she reminded me this morning that I got to get reminded from my mighty companions. We have no idea what any of this means. And the minute we do, back up here. The world of miracles is saying, I have no idea, and I'm willing to be shown. Miracles are not complicated, but it requires.
And it's not, and that's the truth, though. Not just to say it, but it's the truth. You see what I'm saying? You don't know anything.
No, you don't.
I mean, it's not an insult. It's not meant to be. It's just like the realization.
For me,
we could take that further. I'm trying to leave a trail of breadcrumbs for people on what Cindy Snow calls the medically injured community. Do we know this is a withdrawal? Do we know? No. Do we? I mean, in truth, we've called it a withdrawal, and then all of a sudden we call it a withdrawal, and then we put all these attachments to it. Let's go to the roots, and that's why I reframed it. I said I reframed it something much more empowering. Medically induced dark night of the soul. We're making this all up as we go. We're the creators of our own reality. Why not make up a more empowering narrative, and watch? And just I'm not saying that's the right narrative. I just use that narrative, and I notice what happened in my life. It's just an invitation. Take what you like and leave the rest. I don't know.
For me, the thing about, I guess you could call it reality, is that it changes so much and so quickly, and it morphs so much that I can't take it too seriously.
No, reality.
I think that's why
reality doesn't morph.
I mean, I believe in matter, and I believe in the things in life, but they just change so much. You can't.
Our perceptions shift. Our perceptions morph. Reality just sits and waits.
Well, I can't. I always think of the word detachment. To do things with detachment, do things without taking them too seriously. I think you need to do things, but it's kind of a waste of time if you take yourself and your life so seriously. It's kind of
Bingo.
like me with my health. I'm very adamant about it, but it's not the main purpose. It's not the point of life. It's kind of got the back seat, you know. So that's the way I view things. It's kind of, everything is so relative, you know. It's hard to know what's going to last or what's not going to. I mean, my homeopath is bringing my kidneys back. That was never supposed to happen. The National Kidney Foundation says it doesn't happen, but with homeopathy, it's going to happen. So what I knew 4 years ago makes no sense today, you know. So I try not to take things too seriously, you know.
Because now
It's
you
it's
know how
it's
much
it's
you
just that it
didn't
doesn't
know.
work. It doesn't
Yeah.
work. I mean,
Just
I'm not spiritual. I'm just 55 years old. I've been through the rock tumbler for so many years. I know what works and know what doesn't work.
yeah. Yeah.
And I love that I didn't like the diagnosis given to me and the prognosis and the treatment and the this, that, the other.
Mhm.
And we got to start questioning all those beliefs.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's really what started this whole thing, because when you question the beliefs, then you're like, who can I fucking trust? Where's the truth?
Yeah.
I'm all
Right.
confused. I can't believe them. I can't trust this. I
Uh,
can't. And this begins the
uh,
awakening,
yeah.
because we do know we can
Uh,
be guided, but we have to be connected. We
uh,
have to be mind trained,
uh,
because of course we cannot help ourselves. That's
yeah.
what got us into this
Right. Right. Right.
Ferris wheel. First, what do you call it?
Yeah, that's so interesting to hear that, because that's where I've been at lately. I've felt from the very beginning of this tapering process. I remember writing in my journal, I was like, yes, I have all these symptoms, blah, blah. But I was like, the main symptom I have is confusion. So confused. And I
Mhm.
still am. I feel
Uh,
confused. I kind of feel slow these days. I just
mhm.
feel cognitively just slower.
Mhm.
Is it physical? Is it spiritual? Who the hell knows? But
Uh,
trying to uh and Kenneth, you mentioned this, like kind of get out of your own head. I've noticed these things where I'll be going on a walk and I just feel like so just kind of dumb and dead, just kind of not really there. And then something will happen. Maybe it's a thought about life, or a little moment. I'm walking my dog, or I'd look at the sky or something, and I'll be overcome with emotion and I'll kind of tear up.
Mhm.
And recently, a term popped in my head for these little moments. It was like kisses from God, and that's what it feels like. It feels like a
Yeah.
little moment, and my response to these moments is always the same. I noticed, and I only noticed this recently. It's been happening for months, but my response to these moments is always the same. I go, okay, okay, almost like I was getting lost in my head. I was getting lost in these feelings. And here's just a little reminder. Welcome back. Okay. Okay. So I just say, okay, or I say thank you, because it's just a moment for me to kind of get realigned. And I really don't know what the hell is going on. But
Mhm.
from the very beginning of this, I knew that coming off of, Paxil would be like jumping into a bottomless pit. I didn't know where it led or what it looked like or anything, but I knew I was going to do it, and I was just going to keep putting one foot in front of the other, no matter what comes up. And
Mhm.
throughout the process, it's been all these different stages. At the very beginning, it was so physical, like all these symptoms.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
those kind of shifted to different things, and now it's like a little bit more Kenneth, I listened to all the recordings, and you mentioned something in a recent meeting about how like your artistic side kind of left you for a while. And man, that really struck me, because I'm actually gonna hang up shop at my studio. I've had a studio I got it during pandemic times, and I just haven't been going out there, and I'm gonna give up the space because I'm trying not to worry about it, but like, yeah, it's like, okay, wow, I'm in this chapter now where I can't really connect to certain things I used to connect to, my artistic abilities in certain ways. But I'm trying not to worry about it. I'm just trying to like go with the flow and trust that whatever needs to come back will come back.
So your art can't be damaged. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, it is scary. It brings up a million thoughts and feelings.
And that's why the mind training is so important when you were journeying, because I am in a place right now that you couldn't have told me ever I would be in this space of joy, happiness, abundance, sanity, wholeness, health. Never. You see, I was you couldn't have told me. I knew it was my life. I was too old.
Yeah.
I was too far gone.
Yeah.
It was over for me.
Yeah.
It's just wait till. You couldn't have told me I would be at the most vibrant time of my whole life.
Yeah. Okay.
The most vibrant time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chris, my
Awesome.
30s were
It
also
is a boomerang.
Tumblr.
It is a boomerang. It's that thing you pull. Yeah, but you're pulling it down. But believe me, but when we are ascending, we are cooperating in it. When I went manic, I was being connected, but it was so overwhelming that now with mind training and I hate to say education, but truth teachings, because we were taught so wrong. We're innocent. We had we were programmed in these just crazy ways. So of course we're going to be crazy. That's a good thing to find out. And so that now we can start going sane. Becoming insane. If you don't like the word spiritual enlightenment, I love sanity. To me, that is enlightenment.
Yeah, right.
That is peace, joy, happiness, family, everything that I couldn't have when I was crazy.
To me, I've noticed too, since I think we can call ourselves enlightened people. The thing I realized lately is that you can't drag people to the truth. That I finally realized this in my life, that there's nothing I can do for people who are going to stick to the game and who will want to play the game. I don't know. Anyways, it's just a thought for the day that, I don't want to get back into the frustration of arguing about, arguing against psychiatry and arguing against competition in the rat race. It's just some people are going to come and some people aren't. But
and everyone's at a different chapter in their journey, right? Like you were saying, Kenneth, with Reverend Dale, it's like that. What's that saying? You got to be somebody before you can be nobody. Being busy being somebody. And who knows? Maybe in some point in their future, things will really change and open up. But yeah, who knows? Can't judge or.
Yeah. And I was thinking too, this is an argument. Well, I guess it's a little bit of an argument against the system, but psychology. If you look at it from the very beginning, Sigmund Freud, his dad was a doctor, so he said it was all the brain, and that's where we started. And that God is nothing but a coping mechanism, and all life is the survival of the fittest, survival of the species. And all these, so I think like right from the beginning, it was the devaluing thing. And different people were right throughout the history of psychology, B.F. Skinner, all these different people. And it really got nowhere. It was just kind of a evolution that went nowhere, and it might, I mean, things might get better one day since, it's becoming a little more spiritual, but I think that's the insult, is that everything is physical and you're nothing but your brain. I think that's why people get turned off eventually. They say, no, I'm more.
And it's proven now. It's proven science now.
Yeah. It's all energy. I mean, really.
And I had this thought, like we know, all humans need food and water and all these certain needs to stay alive. And I don't think there'd be anyone that would argue that like humans need love, but how much love? How do you measure it? Where does it come from? Like all these things where it's like, most people actually do believe in some kind of like metaphysical stuff, but maybe they don't know how to quantify it or I hear you. I think there is, I'm coming out of that belief. For many years, I shed Christianity, and I always thought, well, the opposite then must be true. There is no God. We are just, bodies, and we're only here temporarily, and nothing really matters. And it really did throw the baby out with the bathwater. And really, those two opposite beliefs, I was operating from the same kind of foundation of like Christianity. Just a bunch of people told me a bunch of stuff, and I just absorbed it, and I was like, I guess that's truth. And then when I shed Christianity, I took on a bunch of other people's beliefs and just said, I guess that's truth. Or psychiatry. At some point, you got to figure out the truth for yourself, and thus becomes this journey of trial and error. And like you say, Kenneth, that at some point you're either on psych meds or street drugs, or you're addicted to sex and gambling or whatever.
Or you just run around crazy.
You have to look at yourself in the mirror and go like, geez, what do I know? Who am I? And what is this all about?
That's perfect. That's where I want to stop the recording. You guys, I got to turn the recording off. It's kind of 9 o'clock, and I'm in a communal space here, so we can't have any noise after 9 o'clock, and my Bluetooth's not working. So I'll keep the Zoom room open, but I just got muted on this end. So anyway, this is Kenneth Price, and this is Wednesday, November 9th, and this is our 34th midweek Zoom call for the ministry I'm hosting, psychiatricsobriety.com. And basically, in a nutshell, this the last hour has been a tribute to our mighty companion, Tina Reed, passed away from a blood clot either this morning or last night. None of us know the specifics, but I want to make this YouTube archive in tribute to our mighty companion, Tina, who we've all pretty much given our respects and our gratitude on the last hour for all the gifts that she gave. So that's where I want this to go. I'm actually going to post this on some of the benzo withdrawal websites, not websites, but the Facebook pages, especially Positives Healing from Benzodiazepine. That was Tina's biggest contribution to the people that she served and the countless people that she served. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please leave your comments below. And again, I'm starting to make this a new spiel. Please, I need your contribution in the way of participation. This ministry will keep going as long as people keep showing up to the two Zoom calls. The Zoom call, this one is 5 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesdays. The other one is 9 a.m. Pacific time on Sundays. I'm going to leave a link to the Psychiatric Sobriety website in the description line, and that has a direct link to the Zoom room. So please come on board so we can just keep unwinding the psychiatric allopathic, tinker with the brain chemistry, find all these mental illnesses. And again, most important, people who need experience, strength, and hope coming off psych meds and benzodiazepines, the most important. So God bless. May the force be with you, and we'll see you on Sunday. Okay, bye.
Bye.